Hi guys, let's start. The first question is logic said that there are two people they are talking. The person Henry or Henry, uh, the first person said this statement. So it said that a American driver uh, drives 10,000 no 1,000 miles per month, and these statements. So, and his friend Billy said that the 30% of carbon emissions are by cars, which is, I think, the additional information for this statement. That's why it's E. And second, there's a statement: a doctor warned his patient about the risk before procedure. But Jolene's, but in this case, Jolene wasn't worried about the possible risk by her doctor before procedure. This means that uh, the doctor which doesn't worry about the possible risks are unethical. That's why I choose A. The third and fourth questions, uh, I'm struggling with those. I understood the statements, but I did various things and I got C. First, I couldn't exactly, I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly. So I guess it's A. I cannot explain the third and the fourth question because I don't know. I have to analyze from myself fully. I asked it from ChatGPT and DeepSeek. They couldn't explain me that way which I could understand. The fifth question said that we have to make the diagram by fruits and vegetables, apples and pears. We know that the intersection between fruits and vegetables is zero. They cannot intersect. So, but the apples and pears are included in the fruits. But apples and pears, they cannot intersect. They don't have something in common. That's why uh this is not this is without intersection. In fruits, there are two diagrams because they are also fruits, but they are not intersecting because they don't have something in common. The sixth says that in a small town there are 100% of people who are higher than 40 years old, and they are giving their roads for BOT and CCT. For BOT, there were 40%, and CCT 25%. But the percentage of people who gave for both of them was 15%. So this means if we add all of them, our percentage that was in this voting is 50%. This means that uh, other 50% uh, didn't actually just vote. Other 50% didn't actually voted. Uh, Neither of them, nor BOT nor CCT. So turning to the physics, there's the first rule of thermodynamics. Like we have ideal gas, pressure 200 kilopascal, and there's work done. No, not work. The amount of heat which has been absorbed. That's not A. That should be Q. Amount of heat. So it's expanding, which means the A is doing a positive work. So the formula A is pressure multiplied by the difference of the volume. Initially it was 1 meter cube and went to 2 meter cubes, which means that the delta V is equal to 1 meter cube. Meters cube. So we are just putting the numbers for into this formula and getting uh, internal in energy of this ideal gas 100 kilojoule. It's higher than 0, which means that it's increased to 100 kilojoules. The answer is D. Each question said that there's a car, his math, and he is uh, going like this around the circled way. The radius of this way is 40 meters and the speed of this car is this. The the F which is going to the center. You know that the formula of force is this, and instead of A I'm just putting this. I'm putting numbers and getting 10 in force exponent newtons. Ninth question, I had no idea. That's why I couldn't solve. The 10th questions says that there's electro teapot and there's water which is boiling in 100 Celsius. We know that the work equals to the power multiplied by time, and there's a formula that the amount of heat which is needed to increase the body's uh, energy to some temperature. They are both measured in joule, that's why I can equalize them. Like it's also in joules, so we know all of them. But the question asks the initial temperature. You know, the final is 100 because it's the boiling temperature, and the water was boiled in 4 minutes. There's the power of our teapot. That's C, and mass of the water is 200 grams. Doing math, and we are getting that the initial temperature was 25 Celsius. So, 12th question, there's a small mistake. A body is moving in constant velocity. According to first or second rule of the Newton, it said that if the body is resting, or moving, and there should be no forces around him. This means that if this body is resting, or if this body moves uh, constant speed, this means that the force going outside is equals to the 0. So the 13th question uh, is uh, a body from the origin was accelerated by this acceleration in 10 seconds, and in 10 after 10 seconds this the direction of acceleration got opposite, made made to opposite side, and it and like ocağını araştırıp koydu. I took off someone like from 2 meter seconds to the right. After 10 seconds uh, it started being like this. So going left, which means that 2 meter seconds in 10 seconds, getting the velocity of 20 meters divide 20 meters seconds, and it's in opposite direction 1 meter second. This means that in 20 seconds his velocity will end up to the and getting zero. Like there's get in this period is getting acceleration, and there's getting acceleration which is smaller than zero, and it's stopping after 20 seconds. And with this acceleration he's going back. So after a small calculation I found that uh it's 10 seconds, and this is 35 and 10 seconds. You can see that I use this formula um, made this coordinate, and the answer was clear, more than 20 seconds. If you just think logically, it's uh, it can be answered without solving. Like after 20 seconds you are getting 20 meters second, and it's stopping after 20 seconds, which means that there's 30 seconds and this body has to return to this origins more than 30 seconds. Though the answer is more than 20 seconds. Next question is there is uh, this formula about work equals to 1 newton multiplied to 1 meter. It's kinda moving a body with 1 newton to 1 meter in the same direction, which means we made 1 joule of work. The 15th said that there are two bodies, and there's F, which is 12 newton, is moving these two bodies. I have to find uh, uh, how much of total total force he is getting to himself, just to itself, by this. F equals to ma. F is 12, m is 24 over a. This is the acceleration of two bodies. And again, F equals to 20, and this acceleration 10 newton. This means that 10 newton out of 12 this body takes to itself. 16th is easy, and this is the formula of acceleration while the body is going like this. Just putting just putting instead of 1 kilometer 1000 meters and getting this acceleration. 17 that say that uh, the sum of vector a and b uh, is vector c. So this means that these vectors should be higher or equal to c vector. And in answer A, this means that uh, uh, C is less or equal to A vector plus B vector. 18th question says that there are two springs. The same intensity means that the force applied to these two springs are equal. So delta x, there's the lengths which they were enlarged. You found that 1.5 x1 equals to x2. Know that the forces are equal. Just putting this formula instead of this. x1 k1 equals to k2 and x2. Instead of x2, I'm putting 1.5 x1. Going this, k1 and k2 equals to 3 divided by 2. The ratio between them, which means that they are equal. If the length of enlarged spring is smaller, then it means that the k should be higher. If this is higher, it should be smaller to keep this equilibrium. So that's it.